Alright, we'll do more polls later, but right now we're gonna go back to what we actually tried to game.
Like midnight at 25, I look at the light stick.
It's called What is a Game Engine right now? So, I mean, does anyone like have like a definition or like a word of what they can describe a game engine to be?
You take it out of the car and then put it into your program.
Yes, Verdict.
It's a game and an engine.
I'll take that. I'll take that. We'll start up. Did you get mighty?
Yeah!
Put your iPad away right now. You can talk about it later.
Bro, I'm tempted to log into your account, do a 10 pull, and see if the luck of this room is actually that strong.
By definition, a game engine is
'Cause I think I have
basically,
zero pity
software
on-
with its own
Or, like,
graphics,
near
its
zero
own
pity.
systems.
Okay,
I'm
at like 2 pity right now.
Build games more easily
Oh, yeah.
instead of having
I like just started
to
playing,
hard
so-
code it like the Chronicle
Yes,
movie.
yes.
And
Oh,
having to
oh,
like the
Oh,
graphics,
software.
the design,
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah, no one's paying attention.
What is a software?
What?
What is software?
A software is a program that is designed to assist the user. The design to assist the user in its design of component. In this case, for a game engine, the software is designed to assist the user in making their game more easily.
You know what? Fair enough.
Close enough.
Close enough. You know what? We'll take that. We'll take that. Honestly, it's pretty hard to define anyways, but it is just the environment. Yes, exactly. So essentially what your game yeah. So your game engine is basically going to be the software or the environment that you use to make your game. So I'm talking about when you have a game engine, that's where all of your parts go. So I'm talking about your assets as well, like your graphics, your design, your music, your audio. I'm talking about literally everything. Everything that makes up and runs a game, like your 3D environment, all that stuff. Like that's all in there as well. I'm pretty loud already, so. So that is what you basically use a game engine for. Now, what kind of game engines are out there? There's kind of quite a few actually, and they all serve definitely different purposes. Like you see, for examples, there's just Unreal Engine, there's Unity, there's Godot, there's RPG Maker, Game Maker, Roblox Studio. It's maybe later. We'll have it later. But otherwise, I'm sure that most of you have at least seen or experienced one of these, or tried one of these at one point, or have seen it as well. Do you have a question?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You said they're for different purposes. What different purposes are there? How would you compare and contrast the different ones for different purposes?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So there's game engines like RPG Maker, which is specifically for RPGs and sometimes text, like story-based. You can do those.
RPG Maker is for RPGs.
Yeah, there's engines like Unity or Unreal, which are designed for 3D games. Godot does have a system for both 2D and 3D, and then there's things like Game Maker, which is 2D specifically.
Okay.
So it's just what type of game you might make on them is usually why there's so many, and also how many different languages of coding there are. Like Unity and Unreal using different C languages, Game Maker is a Java-based kind of language, and Godot is Python-based.
You say it's for like Unreal Engines for action games, or RPG Maker for RPGs. But I've seen like examples where like a lot of Unreal Engine games become like RPGs. Like
Yeah, you can make RPG Maker is designed for RPGs, but you can make other types of games for it if they're hard to do on that. And Unreal is just the type of language and style of game, whether it's 2D or 3D kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because Unreal doesn't really have limits other than what there are some limits, but we don't need to get there as
So
an intro.
if Unreal Engine can do basically everything, why does everyone just use Unreal Engine?
Well,
Preference?
It comes down to also your target market audience as well too.
Yeah.
Like if you think about like things like Roblox Studio, I mean, you can't really use Roblox Studio anywhere else other than Roblox. And the thing about Roblox is that it is a platform that is primarily targeted towards a younger generation as well, and towards multiple ages as well. In terms of Unreal Engine as well, you have a lot of different properties for 3D and 2D support, but you also have stuff for graphics as well, shaders, lighting as well, and very intense stuff. So all of them have their different purposes, and while you can do some to make a game in others, but it's often wise it's easier to do it in others, and it just all happens what you're trying to make, right? Yes.
Also, licenses. A lot of them have licenses that, like, if you release a game, you have to get a specific license. And I think I think it was Unreal had a big, like, license debacle a while ago.
Unreal's had a after a certain amount of profit, you have like a 5% pay to them. Unity is the one that had the pay scandal. They still actually have the payment thing, but I think it's like 200,000.
I heard that they removed the
no,
runtime fee.
It's
they still have that.
$200,000.
Yeah,
or more.
$200,000 until you have to get the pro version set up.
Yeah,
Free
so-
version.
Oh god.
And then there's things like GameMaker, which is just use it, but they don't care. There's some of them are, Godot is open source, meaning just anybody can go in and take it. Some, obviously you have to have some experience, but some of them have licenses where you actually have to pay, others have licenses where they maybe you need to credit using them, or just this. We don't know if we need to get into licensing.
No, that's a whole different topic.
That's a
But
whole- yeah.
otherwise, game engines are out there. It's all a matter of if you want to use them or not. Otherwise, a lot of devs try to make their own engines as well. Or like a lot of big studios, they make their own because they don't have to pay licenses or royalties. They can just use their own and they don't have to say anything.
And yeah, they can make it for specific purposes as well.
Yeah. So that comes to sort of the main role of the games programmer as well. So I mean, a majority of the people in here are actually programmers, but really a game programmer's job is to put all of those assets, those pieces together. That's what we kind of do as well, right? We have to figure out and learn how to put the audio together, the graphics, the design, the UI, the sprites, the characters. We're the ones that take up all of them and we just try to pick them up as well. That's basically like, think of it like a more like established puzzle piece. Your puzzle piece is a final game that you can play. So that comes to the question of, if I am not the game programmer, should I still try to learn a game engine? You know, like even if I'm not the one that's programming, do I still have to go into it and look into it? I see a thumbs up.
As the designer, yes, this is going to help me so much actually.
Yes.
I can't figure out proportions.
And otherwise, the answer is yes, you absolutely should. There is still a value in it, in learning about a game engine, even if you're not going to use it primarily for programming, or if you are the programmer. So, of course, that doesn't mean to go off on your own and try to learn the entire engine and learn the entire game engine library, like how you grab the shaders, you know, like all of that. But even just as simple as learning how your piece of this beautiful puzzle fits together. So, if I am the sort of person that makes the character sprites in the art, so how do I import that? How do I make sure that the sprites and the different sort of actions and sort of movements are actually all modeled differently and actually modeled separately as well? How do we make sure that those tiles are made? And if I'm the environment artist as well too, how do I make sure that the environment will be imported properly without it getting stretched out too thin or too thick or however much? So how do I go about importing them? I mean, if you really look at it, it's really as easy as just dragging it into the Unity project, and then it all of a sudden appears. But otherwise, it is
Top
still
tier.
great to know. It's still great. So now it comes to the idea of which one should I choose to learn as well. There's a lot of great options, but which one do I pick? You know, there's great stuff. And you're talking about, I guess, regular conventions as well of what a lot of devs or what teams look for. It's usually these three, but it can extend further as well.
I'd say Unreal and Unity are usually the ones companies will go for. And yeah, Godot is a very small, not very many companies use it. Some do, and there are obviously others. But yeah, great places to start other than these would be like GameMaker is a great one. If you have no experience at all, starting with Scratch or RPG Maker even, that one's usually where people start.
Yes.
Scratch supremacy.
Yeah.
Yes.
How hard is it to switch over if you committed to one already?
Okay, that depends.
That-
Going from something, for example, like GameMaker to Unity is a very large jump, but going from something like GameMaker to Godot would be like a really easy thing, depending on which way you're going. It depends on which way you're going and what languages you're switching to and from, because some of them are very similar in certain aspects, and others are like completely different syntaxes and how they're written, and how they work, and
Would
everything.
you just say the factor is complexity? Like you're going from a simple one to a complex one, so you shouldn't make huge jumps?
Well, you can, because it depends on what are you switching to. Are you switching from an engine that makes only 2D games to an engine that's specifically designed for 3D? Are you switching languages? Because that's something you have to factor in. Another thing is you're going to have to learn an entire system again. You understand one system, and now you're going into a completely different program, and you have to learn all those features.
So
Don't
just
learn
not
all of them
complexity.
right away, but
So it's not like the art programs where like they're all based off of Photoshop and then like they kind of have the same UI.
kind of. Some of them are pretty much based around others nowadays. Like they're taking ideas off of each other and making certain systems similar. So the three on the board have very similar systems.
Okay.
But if you go into something like GameMaker, it is a completely different system than those three.
Okay.
Yes, perfect.
But for example, since gaming in general isn't just one branch PC only,
Yeah.
and there's
Yes.
multiple branches.
Yeah.
You know, from both of your experiences, like just from those three, what do you recommend for like each category? So for example, PC, you got mobile, and then you got hell, I don't know, console and stuff.
Pick your choice. You can make systems for compatibility with each. I know the three on the board all have a way to go from PC to console. I think Unity has a built-in one. I'm not entirely sure on that. I know Godot's is third party.
Yeah.
So you have to go to there's a certain party you have outside of Godot that you have to go to get it, be able to use it for something like console, or they do have some mobile support and certain things you have to get add-ons for. But if you were adding like a controller to a computer, it's not that hard to do. I mean, as long as you understand what you're doing. But they do usually have something built in, and some things you have to get through an add-on.
And for example, like virtual reality, which one would be the best?
Unity. I would say that and we'll talk about it in a bit, but definitely both the Unreal and Unity do have support, but Unity has a more robust library of support.
Yeah, Unity's probably the oldest one on there.
Yes.
So it would probably have the most features. Unreal probably looks the nicest for 3D games, but Unity would definitely be best for a VR setting.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about like the Unity support that you can actually do with
Again,
this.
it really depends on what you're doing.
Well, since I'm doing mobile for my first game,
Unity's great for that.
Yeah, Unity or Godot are great for those.
I think it's a little bit better when it comes to
Godot does have a specific export too,
exactly.
so technically.
It is.
But again, like both are fine.
Truly, you can actually never go wrong with any of them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, no matter what engine you learn or which one you start off with or which one you pivot to, you're still going to learn the general fundamentals of how, like, a structure of a game goes. Even if the libraries are different, or the languages are different, or the way styles of importing, they will all sort of teach you the same way as well. Like, we all started from a specific game engine, and we can pivot into other ones. And really the only difference is learning the syntax or like how things work, but it's truly just all foundational, and you will learn them no matter what. And this is where it brings to our focus. It's Unity. We're going to be focusing on this engine right there. So if you remember Unity, it's Unity engine. It is a game engine that was created in 2005. It was created by Unity Technologies and based in Denmark, I believe. And essentially, it was released at the Apple Worldwide Developers Conference, originally for the Mac OS X. But it has soon, as you see over the years, it has pivoted to basically everything as well. I'm talking about Windows support, even Linux support, mobile support.
Samsung Smart Fridge.
Probably that too. I mean, if it counts as an Android device, it can be ported. And sort of, yeah, it basically is known, Unity is known for its flexibility and the just diverse range of games, consoles, support that you can do. If you want some examples of games that were made with Unity, and these are some that you may know or may not know as well too, we have all of these right here, and you can see how they're all sort of vastly, and you can see how they're all vastly different for different platforms, different genres, or even just different style of graphics. Or in the Blind Forest, a very beautiful game as well.
Very, yeah.
exciting. I mean, we've seen the explosiveness of Hollow Knight Silksong right there. Hell,
Wait,
right up.
but is there not Unity?
Yes, actually. The original Hollow Knight was also.
Technically, Ori and Silksong are in the same genre, but
I mean, pretty
they're
good though.
very different mechanics.
They're very different.
Wise, but they are technically both.
I still need to play Ori.
Same thing.
I
Same
keep looking
thing,
at it
but
and go, that's pretty.
Super Mario Run is made for mobile, and it's more of an auto runner that you
That
can
game was
really.
so much fun.
You only tap one button.
It's so good though.
Yeah, it's very well designed.
Very well designed.
All of
Then-
them are actually.
Then we got Among Us right there. I mean,
Among Us!
exceptional. Cuphead
Peak
over
of
here.
gaming.
Right here, Cuphead, very peak gaming. Pokemon Go too, and Pokemon Go is also a great example because that is an augmented reality game. That's how they get your world space. That's how you saw random people that were falling off cliffs because they're trying to catch something. So that's why you have to warn you, don't run off your world space, please. And then we got the actual peak of gaming right here. This is my unbiased opinion, but they're pretty peak. So
Free roam RPG.
Go with Ori there.
Fair enough. Yeah. So as you can see, very diverse games as well, and different types of styles, development teams, and all that. So Unity has that sort of support for all of them. All right. Now here is the exercise. Not exactly more of an exercise, more of a walkthrough because trying to teach everything about that will take forever. So I'm going to run through a basic implementation of what I call a 2D player controller. So imagine a 2D open world game, and you're able to just move your character left, right, up, down around the world space, and we'll just run it through. Oh, not yet. No. So you can follow me into not that game. That's safe for later. You can follow me into right here, is where we have Unity Hub. So if it
Oh, I'm
If
in
it
that
loads.
already.
What if I don't have Unity installed?
download it.
Why do you have so many warning symbols?
Oh yeah, that's because I imported the game wrong or something like that. I don't remember. I think it's because the file's missing. Oh yeah, the file's missing.
It's
Oh,
not a
stop.
bug, it's a feature.
You can't open them.
So
Can't even open them, that's the feature.
Certain versions because they're not the long-term service.
yes,
Yeah.
right. There's still that issue. But otherwise,
They all have a problem.
they all have a problem, but it's fine.
So
So
fucked up and evil.
when you're right here in the Unity Hub right here, you're gonna walk and you're gonna hit this button right here. It's called New Project. And then you'll have your versions right here. You just select whatever version that you downloaded. For this tutorial, okay. I know, bro. For Unity 6 as well, you can pick any of them as well, as long as they're within Unity 6 version. And then you will have this long list of templates that you can pick. What these templates do is essentially they give you the framework to start a game within it. So a competitive action multiplayer has that. So there's an AR mobile template, a 2D platform micro. But just for basics, we are going to stick with the universal 2D right here. This just allows the sort of best support. So you would click on this, and it switches over here. And then you would add it to the project name. You can give it any sort of name. You can name it anything like a tutorial like this. And then right here, you can click use Unity version control. We don't need to worry about that right now. So, and then you just hit create project.
And now
you
we
may
wait.
encounter the very long phase of loading the dang project. But don't worry, I saved it ahead of time, and I actually loaded up the back project ahead of time, so it's all good.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's cheating, bro.
From teleporters.
You're moving too fast.
Enough, bro.
Time
Well, the rest of
travel.
us have to boot it up too.
Yes, I anticipated that.
And
but
he still has to deal with the loading screen anyway.
don't worry. No, I'm gonna exit out this. We are not loading this thing. Okay.
That's
don't worry.
great.
This is where you should have done the polls, man, while we were waiting for it to load.
Oh, true. That would be so good.
For the next one, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll make it to sort of what we have is the editor right here. Now, for some, it may look that there's like a lot of things, but realistically, you only need to worry about a few windows. This right here is your scene view. This is where you will see everything that is placed into the scene, and then have it ready and stationed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
there's like
There's the
UI.
cube. It's got the cube.
It's got the cube.
We love the cube. I use it. And right here, if we click the tab over here, this is the game view. So the difference between this is that this is what the scene looks like before running, and this is what you will see when it is running.
Yeah, your scene is what you see as the developer, and your game is what the user will see.
So you'll have these two windows in mind. So whenever you hit play and you want to try and test your application, you will run into the game view right away. On the left side right here, we will have the hierarchy. So this hierarchy is where all of your game objects will be placed and how they'll be located. This is everything that's active in the scene right now. So let's say, for example, I wanted to add, let's say I want to add a 2D object, and let's say a circle. And look, the circle is in the view. It's over here, I can move it, position it, it exists. And when I click this circle or when I click this object, you may start to see a little window that's opened up here on this right hand. Is it slightly? Oh, it's fine. This is called the inspector. So the inspector is basically all the properties about that object. So we're talking about right here, we're talking about the transforms, the sprite renderers. So these are all the components that make the object the object. Let's say, for example, and I can add more. Let's say if I wanted to add a circle collider or something like this for like a random object or anything like that. Add it right there. Here it is right there. Now it has that circle collider object. And this is how all the properties will be stored on this sort of game object right here. I'm just going to delete this because we don't need this. We don't need circle. Don't sit on the floor, bro. Next, in terms of the windows here, you'll have these ones called the project window and the console window. So the project window is where all of your assets that you import to the game, so let's say like your environment, your scenes, your sprites, everything will be included right here. So if I were to try and import an asset right here, let's grab a picture for example. Oh, what the heck? Let's get Thomas Ricky in here. So let's say I wanted a picture of Thomas Ricky, and boom, Thomas Ricky is in the game now. So then I can drag Thomas Ricky, probably like this, and he's in the game.
Elon Musk block texture core.
No. So the difference between the project window and the hierarchy window is that these project window right here, this contains all the assets that are in the game. But the hierarchy window talks about all the assets, or all the things that are actually visible in the scene right now. So there is a difference. So if you want to add anything from your assets to the hierarchy or your scene, then you'll just drag it over. Last thing over here would be your console. So if I am going to run this application, this is where I will see any logs, like errors or messages that I want to print out. Debug menus, all of that stuff. Clear shell. So like say if I click play on this one right here. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh no,
What does that mean?
the circle of death.
The circle of death. Busy for 10 seconds. I can't. No, don't be busy, bro. Oh,
That one square caused so much damage.
I know. This is a common thing with Unity where it takes like infinitesimal.
Lots of systems like this. So Unity and Unreal will both do this. Yeah?
Yeah. That issue only used to happen on like my old PC for some reason. This
Yes.
Your computer's fucked up and
evil. It still happens.
Fucked up and evil
For some
computer.
it's slower than others. It depends on your computer. But it is a system because it has to load all the things and figure out what you exactly are doing.
Like what CPU
How
is you running?
How many?
Like right now?
Just a HP laptop.
Wait, what?
How many gigabytes
This
of
one's running
data?
i5
Two
like
items to run.
34.
Not a lot, bro. You don't need a lot, but otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly it's just this computer.
It's just my laptop.
Yeah,
If I have
It's just this laptop.
a better
It'll run slow most of the time, but for some it'll be pretty quick.
a better graphics card is what you get through this. That's how you get through this. A better
PC like 8 years old. Like
This is a fairly old
Yeah, this is a family one, yeah. So I guess I can run through the walkthrough of how to sort of make a player controller quickly. And we're gonna try and show you. I'm gonna show you the old way on how to do it. So like this is like a lot of code kind of way. Oh yes.
What's the difference between the old way versus the new way?
I'll actually show you right now. So the old way uses this this little button here called the input action system or input mapping. So this one right here, if I were to open it up, it just predefines like movements. So you can see there's player tag, player enter, jump, look, and all that. So
those are your macros.
yeah, it basically just defines macros, and then you can just assign those macros to your character, and then it just makes it easier. Because before, which I'll show you, you would have to do the manual keyboard presses, which I will show.
So how does that thing like go with the circle to make it move though?
You'll see. you will see. So for example, yeah,
How does one cube again? Like put something in?
that's what I was going to show you right now.
Oh, stellar!
Yeah, so if you want to go right here, you can hit right click, or you can actually hit this plus button over here, doesn't matter. So you hit right here, right click, and then you'll see the 2D object right here, go to sprites, and then circle, or square, triangle, whichever you want to do. Let's do circle. Oh my gosh.
Make it unique this time.
Okay, fine, I'll do it this one. I'll disable
Make
this
it
guy.
blue.
Oh yeah, true, I can make it blue. If you want to go on the editor right here, you can make it blue. Sarah, we'll make it blue.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things in that editor. We don't need to cover everything in that. Though.
Make it purple.
Yes. No!
It's the club colors, purple.
Relax, bro.
This is a tutorial.
Yes. And then next, you want to add this component right here, which is called the rigid, or I'll actually show you. So you hit circle, and you see it, you scroll down to the bottom, you'll hit add component. This is going to be called rigid body 2D. So this rigid body right here, what it does is that it actually helps and handles all the physics within the game as well, or whatever is your object.
Jiggle
Not that much physics.
If you're going there, sure.
Eventually, yes.
If you're gonna go in that direction, then sure.
This is not the question.
But that's not what this is.
This is not what I want to do. Okay, but otherwise, big. So otherwise, right there, once you have your rigid body 2D, we're going to edit one property from this right here because we're going to make an open world style of movement system. You can go left, right, up, and down. You're going to change the gravity scale to 0 right here. And I'll show you why if you leave it. Actually, no, I can't show you why if I leave it at 1 because it's going to take too long to load. Yeah, so you're going to leave it to 0 because you'll find that if you leave the gravity on a value, your circle will just fall off the map. So we're not going to do that.
I mean, if you did collisions, but.
Yeah, that's true. Next, we're going to do a big part right now. It's called, we're going to add a script right now. So we're going to add a very good script. Now, this one right here, if in your new Unity project, you won't actually have this on you, so you'll have to make it. So, for example, I'm just going to say right here, let's go right-click here in the project folder, create, and then you're going to hit mono behavior script. And we're going to name this, and you want to give it a meaningful sort of name. But I already named it player controller, so I'm going to make it player controller 2. But you should name it player controller because it just makes sense.
Yeah, you're only naming it 2 because you already have
I already have it existing right there. So then you'll make a script file. And what you can do is that you can left click. Okay, well, what you're supposed to do is that you're supposed to double left click on it, and that's how you will open the file. So you'll open it up to something like it's not supposed to look like this, but it should look well like it's right here.
There you go.
So you should expect this sort of view right here. Now this is just in my text editor. Your text editor may be different, but it's just all used to edit whatever is here. So you will see these sort of functions and how. Yes, don't explode. So you will see how it runs over here, and you can now start to code it stuff. On the top right here, this is where you define your library. So any imports, like say if I wanted to use UI, I could do like this, UI, stuff like that. They all go at the top. So,
Are you gonna film this video?
oh yes, ASMR. You're gonna hear some ASMR typing right here. So on the top, this is where you go to import your libraries. So as long as you have those libraries in, you'll make sure that everything works and that everything for Unity will work over here. Then you'll have some predefined variables, functions over here. This is what we call the void start and the void update. Now, you don't need to have these in here, but you may need it for your implementation. So void start is basically, this is what this line of code will be called when the program starts. Yes?
I'm trying to open it, and my computer is complaining that it doesn't have anything to open it with.
Right, because you're on Mac, right? Okay, you need to download download a text editor. That's why you need an IDE for that.
Oh, stellar. Okay.
Yes, you need a text editor, VS Code, Visual Studio, even Notepad++ can do it. Notepad++ don't see
It's not on Mac.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Just use text editor.
Their website is
Well, I'm on Mac.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah, text editor. It's what it's called on Mac. The default text editor.
It's sketchy now.
Which is weird.
So it's, what is it called? Default.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just go ahead and you can help. Okay.
Where is
So now, once we have that, and void start is basically, it will call everything before the start of the game. So let's just say if I were to, like say, print a message like, hello world, classic, right? Then when I call this function, or when the game starts, and it will automatically create this, it will print it out in the console. Now this is void update over here. So void update is, it runs during like the compiled runtime of the actual game. So while it's running every frame, it will call this function and it will run whatever is in it. So let's just say, if I were to run hello world again, then you'll see that if you were to run it, attach it to a body, run it, then you'll see that the console will just print hello world constantly and use up all your RAM, and then your laptop will die. So don't do that. So that's sort of the basic gist of it. So now, I did attach the actual script that you're supposed to use in the project files that I did send out. They're in the Discord if you need them. I got no idea. Not the script.
Yeah.
So for a movement controller, you will end up with something along the lines of this. Now,
Jesus Christ.
now don't worry. This
How many lines is it? Let's see.
it's only like 51.
50 lines.
See, look, that's
Still too many lines for my
A
brain.
little bit less than around 50 lines or so of code. That's
Yeah.
not bad.
So 51 lines, not bad as well here for the whole input. And I know that not all of us are coders, so I'm going to give a brief, like, little explanation-ish right here. So right here on the top, we'll have our variable declarations that we need to get the part that handles physics, which is the rigid body 2D. Then you need the vector 2, which is a move input. Vector 2 is essentially, if you think of it just a 2D plane, I go up, down, left, right. If it was vector 3, you go forward, back, left, right? And then we would need, I declared some extra variables because I also added the function to be able to do a run speed multiplier. So if I were to hold down shift, then I can actually make my circle or my cube run, and you'll see that soon. And then check for a Boolean logic if I am currently running, which is set to false. So when I first start the game right now, I'm going to first check for this component. So I want to get the component, the rigid body 2D. This is, I'm just checking to make sure that I have that physics component in, because if I don't, then nothing will work. And then I have this set to freeze rotation, because if you don't freeze the rotation, you'll notice that your cube, when it's walking around, will do this. It's gonna keep tilting and rotating. And we don't really want that. Unless you do want that. I don't know. Maybe you do. It's your world. So we call that in the start function to make sure that we define that object right away before we continue. Now, in the void update right here, this is for called once per frame, so this is constantly right now. We're going to keep checking for the left shift if I'm holding down that left shift component. So this is your button key. If I'm holding it down, then it will change to true. If it's not, it will go to false. But that's just a first rotating. Right here, what I'm actually trying to check for is that I'm trying to look for constantly this. Move input, input.get access, raw, horizontal, or vertical. So what this code is doing is that it's functionally checking constantly what my inputs are from X and Y. If there's even any input going through, and then normalizing it, there's a whole reason, there's another explanation, you don't normalize. Then I have this right here. It's called fixed update on here. So fixed updates is actually another library you can call, and that's basically what happens. It will get called whenever there is an update to the physics of the object. So when you call fixed update, whenever there is an update with the translation, rotation, scaling, it will summon this right away. What I'm going to do is simply check for the get my current speed, and then if I check if I'm running, then I will multiply the speed right here. So just a simple run speed multiplier. And then finally, apply this linear velocity to my move inputs times my current speed. This is the best I can simplify right here. So really, it just checks for get the object right here, get the player, consistently update and check for the move inputs, and then just change those inputs or change the properties whenever there is a move input detected. That's it. And you see that I have all of these green lines and comments over here, and you can type these in if you just do a double slash or a comments. So this is just for making sure that you're labeling your code and ensuring that you know what it is and how to label it. Oh my gosh, look at this. I know.
Yes.
Yes.
You should comment on your code so that if you come back to it, or if someone else goes to read it, they'll understand what you're doing and what each line does or each section of code.
Yeah. So like imagine if I had this code and I just removed everything right here. If I remove all these green comments, would you know what this works? Would you know how it works? Potentially, maybe.
Probably not, unless you were fairly experienced with the engine.
Yes.
To do the comments, you have to do the //.
Yes. It's
Okay.
double //, or you can do an alternate way, which is called the log comment. So let's say I don't know if you can see it right here, but let's say.
That's very good, very good.
And then right here, if I do this, if I use the star, if I like wrapping right here, then this is a long comment. And a long comment means you can extend it beyond the frame.
And if he takes out the back part there,
If I go like this.
no, the back part, not the front.
Oh, the
Yes, there you go.
It also
Because there's a comment that blocks it, under the comment there it blocks it.
Do a
If it
multi-line
wasn't
comment.
Everything would be commented out.
then they commented out.
Oh, okay.
Ryan, just show multi-line comments.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, those ones.
Empty line comments?
Multi-line.
Multi-line. This is the multi-line comment.
Yeah, I mean, add a new line.
So yeah, right here, like if I do this, you can see everything is still for you.
Yeah, so if he goes in and picks a random line in between there and types, it'll be commented out.
Okay.
So stuff like this. I'm gonna remove this because this is gonna
Yes.
block everything. This is gonna break This is gonna break everything. This will.
No, it won't. It's a comment.
It's a comment.
Are we sure? Are we sure? I'll tell you.
You
So-
comment out the stuff that breaks things.
When you go back into your editor, so after you exit out and you go back in here, you'll see that the game will update. It will go for this loading signal. And then, now that you have your components all figured out, then all you gotta do is do the simple thing where you just gotta take your script and you gotta drag it and place it here.
And where's here?
Into the inspector window when you have your object selected. So, I'm just gonna do this again.
Make sure to select your object first.
Yes. So, oh my gosh, like that. And then you'll see right now that you have a new component there, and that is your player controller script. You'll see your move speed, your run speed multiplier, and if it's running. So now, if I play,
There we go.
and there it is, and now you are moving a
Maybe
move.
change the color to blue on blue's color.
Yeah, maybe I should have went with purple name, sorry.
Hey, it looks great on camera.
Oh yeah, sure.
Does it?
Yeah, I can clearly on the camera. I can clearly see the circle versus the background.
And then I can move it right here, but as you can see, this is very basic. I can move off, but then you can see I move off the screen, and then I'm gone, then I'm back. But if I hold down left shift, I can hit sprint. Look, now I'm moving even faster now. So that's how you do it as well. Now that is the old way to do it over here. It's not that long of an implementation, but the newer way you may find a little bit more simpler, if I were to say it. Yes, there is a new way actually. Yes, I will show you the new way right now, quickly, because I don't want to take too much time. No, I'm moving the wrong script. Oh shit, okay, here we go. So, right here, I will show you how this new input works over here. So, when you're in the new inputs, you actually don't even you'll have to worry about adding an extra component right here. So you still have your rigid body 2D, you'll still have all that, but you're gonna add this little component called a player input. So this player input is what will define all of your actions and sort of call them. So those are all your predefined macros from movement to walking, to running, jumping, sprinting, all of that sort of stuff. And if I were to open this little line over here and go open up through the events and the player, you can see right here, we have all these callback contexts over here. So all you have to do is add whatever function you're doing, and then you will immediately call this right away. You'll call whatever that function is. You will still need a script for this. Oh my gosh. You'll still need a script for this again, but we're gonna call this player movement, for example. So you'll still need a script, but you'll just need to define it once again. So you'll just go right here, assets, right click, create model behavior script, name it, and you'll attach it again to your player. I'm not gonna do it again because it's gonna do bad things. So in this player movement script, you'll notice that it's a little bit simpler. It's also 50 minutes. I think it's also because of all the comments I had. So right here, you will essentially call a function with using that new input mapping right here. So we call this function move. So we call move input action callback context. It's all there. So all you got to do right now is set your horizontal and vertical values that you define over here for your floats, and then you'll just call the context.read value vector2.x.1 for horizontal or for vertical. And then everything else is pretty much standard stuff. Like just make sure that you call your rigid body, your freeze rotation, so you're not spinning. And then if we go back and we play this. Same thing. If you hold shift, it also runs too. So you can see, it's easy, same thing again. Yippee. So I didn't expect to sort of make you all write that code yourselves. So if you actually want to download it and use it, you can go to Discord and you can find it right here. Sorry.
Opening everything but Discord.
Yes, I'm opening everything but Discord. You will actually find it here because I knew I wasn't going to have a lot of time. Is it? Yes. Beauty workshop. So it's actually right here. So you open up that zip file and you can take a look at the code, experiment with it. And yeah, that's pretty much how
There's a bunch of files in there. Which ones are important?
This one. Just open it. Yeah. Just open.
When you export it, they'll probably save the important ones and just go ahead and experiment with code and stuff.
Okay. So that is sort of a basic rundown of navigating Unity and sort of using the C# scripts as well. Now it's sort of it can look complex and it does take a while to sort of get used to it, but with enough practice and looking at it, then it'll be all great. And it's sort of hard to sort of explain everything right here because that's going to take like 4 hours. But using, if you take this project file, you can use the base code of it. So it's offered to everyone as well. You can use it. And that is just basically a rundown of Unity. I just realized it's hard to explain the code.
Thank you for coming to our workshop of
That's
Watching the computer crash.
Pain 101.
Pain 101. So now, I just have this sort of simple exercise. This is just for free if you want to do it or not, because we are basically running to the end of time of the workshop. So if you want to run through, you can basically just tell you to experiment with the engine, go through it, add components, remove components, even change up the scripts a little bit if you really want. If you already have a project that you have in Unity, you can just work on that too. But yeah, that's all we have sort of. And then if you want a challenge right here, you can take whatever's happening here and you can try and recreate Flappy Bird in Unity. So this is Scratch over here, and it just allows you to have a drag and drop editor and just have those codes. So
I used that
This
for
is so
Minecraft
much. This is so much easier.
wait, what? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a Minecraft version that I used in like grade 6.
Yeah.
So if you want to go
there are
through
3D
that sort of
games
challenge of recreating Flappy Bird in Unity, it does take a little
Flappy
bit of time.
Bird, the simplistic Super Mario kind of game.
All of that sort of things.
Yeah.
So if you want to go about that, you can do that, or you can continue working on whatever projects you may have, or anything else.
Make Pac-Man.
No.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay, sure.
But the way like
Yes, question.
What language is it?
C#. It's a branch of C, so you can use like standard C things. I'm just nerding out over here, just letting you know. So you can use standard stuff like I can include. How do you print a line C again? Oh yeah, you have to do %D. So you can do %D, or you can use import string, or you can make flags. So let's say public game object array game objects, I guess, and then you can just set them right there.
I'm so glad that I don't have to program. I think I'd just kill myself.
Don't worry.
That's how I feel about 370.
When you do it enough, it's not that bad.
Okay.
It's very intimidating at the beginning. Scratch.
I'm also dyslexic as hell.
Okay, go back to that image
Yes,
for
of course,
Scratch.
yeah.
That is probably one of the more intimidating things. If you look at like the 3D games that people have made on Scratch, they're like 10 times worse than that.
Oh.
But Scratch is also one of the simplest game engines out there on the market.
Don't sleep on Scratch. It's
free
underrated.
engines at least.
Don't save on Scratch. But
At least it's color coded.
And that too, yes.
Yeah.
Because there is
My
there is an
dyslexic
entire
ass
editor
would look
that
at
is
a
not
coding
in
script
this
and go,
image.
what the fuck? I can't read any of
Yes,
this.
there is an entire section that's not in this image that tells you what each of those pieces
You
is.
have a question?
Yeah, like I was saying, like
Yeah.
for some reason, Scratch is the thing, not Unity, not Python or anything. Scratch is the thing that showed me how functions work.
Yep.
Yeah, this is usually what they start with. You're in university, so you should be able to go beyond that to start.
I've used this when I was 10. So.
But yeah, with like
Yeah.
very, very young introductories, we'll usually start with
I forget
that.
if it was-
High school courses will definitely start with that,
Yeah.
because that's how they're structured, is they go from that to whatever the teacher or prof's selected language is.
Yeah, like they may start with this like the 8th and 9th grade from school. I was in 10th, 11th, and 12th. They started getting us like Python and like
If only
second
code- if
language,
only we
C#
could code like this,
stuff
bro.
like that.
Imagine we code with Scratch every day, bro. Insane, bro.
I forget if it was Scratch or like Microsoft's block code, but I know one of them allows you to use.
Should I stop recording?
Blocks.
Technically both.
Technically both? Okay.
We just have to do stuff in Scratch.
Should I stop recording?
Yeah.
Any last messages?
Damn.
Workshop over. Bye bye.